The air in the courtroom was like solidified lead blocks, and the fluorescent lights made a hissing, low sound overhead. When Sergeant Leon Chin's wheelchair rolled over the floor, the sound of the metal rubbing against the ground was particularly shrill. The military medal on his chest quivered slightly under the light. It was the mark left by 3 blasting missions on the Middle East. Battlefield, but at this moment, it couldn't compare to the weight of the dog leash in his hand. The German Shepherd Reeks was quietly lying at his feet, its nose tip gently rubbing against his combat boots. "Sergeant Chen," the judge's voice came from behind the oak bench. "According to the military property management regulations, the military dog Rex needs to be reassigned to." Before he could finish speaking, Rex suddenly pricked up his ears and let out a dull growl from his throat. Liang felt the leash suddenly tighten. It was the signal he had encountered countless times in the ruins of Mosul. Rex's front paws were unsteadily digging the ground, and his amber pupils were firmly fixed on the 3rd row of the jury seat. War wound memory. From smoke to the court's alarm system 3 years ago in Baghdad province, Rex warned of IED explosives in such a posture. At that time, Liang was bending over to inspect an abandoned truck. Suddenly, Rex pushed him away. 3 seconds later, the air wave rising from under the wheels overturned half of the wall. At this moment, Rex's back in the courtroom was arched like a full moon, and his tail was as stiff as a flagpole. This kind of stress response, which only occurs when facing a fatal threat, instantly covered Liang's arms with goosebumps. "It's just nervousness." The military lawyer tried to interrupt, but Rex suddenly broke free from the leash and rushed to the jury seat. A lady wearing a pearl necklace screamed as she backed away. The moment her handbag slipped, Rex precisely pressed the clasp with his paw. A faint electronic beep came from beneath the metal clasp with a frequency exactly the same as that of the remote-controlled detonators used by the militants back then. Liang's heart suddenly tightened. He recalled the record Rex had set in the training camp, sniffing out C4 explosives hidden in a lipstick tube from 500 items. Silent testimony, a truth puzzle from the perspective of a military dog. There was a sudden commotion in the back row of the courtroom. When the bailiffs held down a man who was trying to slip towards a safety exit, Rex lunged at the man's briefcase with all his might. The sound of his teeth tearing through the leather pierced the silence. Not only documents were scattered in the bag, but also half an unopened piece of ammonium nitrate fertilizer. A common combination of agricultural supplies and a mobile phone timer, which is exactly the standard configuration of an improvised explosive device. Liang watched Rex push the fertilizer bag open with the tip of his nose. Suddenly, he recalled his last mission before leaving the military. Rex had sniffed out the explosive mixed in the candies from the suicide attacker's robe. "It's not nonsense." Leon's voice pierced through the chaos. At Bagram Baz, Rex could smell the remnants of gunpowder 3 kilometers away. Once I stepped on a booby trap. It bit my tactical vest and dragged it backward. The blood drops from the steel nails cutting through its belly are still in the lines of my combat boots. He lifted up his trouser legs. There was an old injury under his knee that corresponded to the scar on Rex's abdomen. When I locked myself in the basement due to PTSD, it was it that broke through the security door and snatched my gun out of my mouth. Beyond medals, the ultimate proof of comradeship, when the bomb disposal team arrived, Rex was squatting beside the evidence bag, his front paws gently pressing on the switch of the timer. Liang saw the wrinkles at the corners of its eyes. That was the relaxed expression only after each mission was completed. Just like when it licked the bloodstains off his face in the field hospital back then. The judge took off his glasses to clean the lenses. The bailiffs exchanged shocked glances. The military lawyer had already put down the file folder in his hand. When the explosion-proof experts confirmed that the explosive was powerful enough to destroy half of the courtroom, a suppressed scream erupted from the public gallery. Leon felt Rex's head gently rubbing against his palm. It was an action they had repeated countless times while waiting for rescue in the ruins of Mosul. At this moment, the sunlight filtered through the stained glass window, gilding Rex's fur with gold. The stubble of the hair, scratched by shrapnel, glowed silvery in the light. Like invisible metals attached to the military dog's uniform, this court ruled. The judge's voice carried an imperceptible tremor. The Rex military dog was awarded for performing security duties in a non-combat environment and successfully preventing a major terrorist attack. No, he paused, his gaze sweeping over the overlapping hands of Leon and Rex. awarding the first-class merit medal and sentencing him to accompany Sergeant Chen for life. Rex seemed to understand the verdict and let out a contented sob from his throat. When Liang lowered his head, he saw drops of glistening liquid on the armrest of the wheelchair, not his tears, but water stains with the smell of gunpowder left after Rex licked his palm. In this court where separation was supposed to be decided, what the war dog has safeguarded with its life is not only the safety of its owner, but also the trust contracts that have been forged in the smoke of war, transcending words.